Today I want to talk to you about my latest piece. It's called, I think we're calling it The Spirit of a Man. Back in 2020, I had painted a series of paintings in this size. They all had featured different points of light, and I was really focusing on what the word revelation means when you have an insight or when something is revealed to you. It's almost like light revealing in darkness, right? So this painting I started back then. I was in prayer one day and I saw this black cage around the earth. And initially, the first thing that kind of came to me was something about the Iron Curtain, and I thought that was really strange, and I was like, oh, communism? And we weren't really tossing around terms like that at all back then. I mean, it really wasn't something that was a topic of conversation. Although fast forward to today, I could see how this was kind of a foreshadowing, because I think we're talking a lot more about these similar subjects, really. I started by painting the globe and these different hot spots on the globe. These are different nations. We're sort of facing Israel, the Middle East side. There's these areas of just activity or breakthrough that are burning through elements of the cage, but not getting rid of it. It's still there, but you could see the heat is burning away different sections of it. And so it kind of stayed just like that with nothing else on it for several years until just a few weeks ago. I was looking at an article. There's so many articles about AI. It's moving really fast, and capabilities are, multiplying exponentially every day. And this one was about young people, relationships, and AI partners, AI girlfriends, AI boyfriends, and the capacity to have relationship with something that is technology. So that really hit me, and I've often thought about the contrast or the tension between all of this convenience, all of this knowledge at our fingertips to make everything faster, more productive, easier, less burden on us. We could just crank out stuff without thinking, we could just plug it in and get the answers. And when I dwell on these thoughts, I'm like, it's so interesting. There's a real tension there between, if God gifted us the incredible human brain that we only use 10% of, and now we're even delegating a portion of that 10% to technology to be faster, easier, produce more, are we negating a part of our God-given gift to develop our potential and see what it really is to other things, and robbing ourselves of something or robbing God of something? These are really important questions. I just saw the thinker, because I happen to love this sculpture by Rodin, and I think about this a lot with art. It's really cool and amazing to make some of this AI imagery that is so superior in some ways, but not personal in some ways. It tells no one's story, and it's attached to no person. So you're missing all of that when it comes from an individual, their spirit, their story, their life, their history, their personal touch on it. And so, it's just another kind of wrestle with these ideas. And, I ask myself all the time, it's if God is a creator, and we value him as creator, and then we say we are creators because he's a creator and we're in his image and likeness, and that's why some of us are so called to create in many different ways. When we start to delegate these functions to something else because it's easier or more convenient or faster, am I robbing God of something that he meant for me to expressly develop to a place of excellence and put it out there in the world? So I bring to you The Spirit of a Man. Here's the thinker. Here's the earth almost on his shoulders, kind of an atlas-like implication there. And obviously he's in his thinking position, and the light behind him. You could see all of the electric kind of looking lines from what is a computer chip pattern representing the technology all around him. So I know it might be hard to catch on camera, but there's little like bold areas on the lines. It just makes it look like it's actively moving and sort of zapping around him. Basically how technology is kind of encapsulating the world at this point between all of the systems that are being built and will be built. Will it be almost like a cage for humanity that we're going to have to function under and break through in some aspect? A bright light in the distance, in the sky. I love the fact that like if you squint a little bit, you can almost feel like it looks like a dove a little bit. But this bright light in the distance just reminds me of space and time and like the kingdom is coming. And I also think of an article I read many years ago where it was about scientists discovering two like polar opposite walls in space, I guess walls of galaxies that they detected, and how they were like almost being magnetically pulled together. Focal point on the figure, if you look carefully, there's a glimmer of light right in his center of his being, his inner man. There's a flame, and I just love this because in spite of whatever algorithms, technology, and all the other things that are probably going to be built and we will see in our lifetimes, they can try to manipulate our thoughts, influence us, shift us to certain opinions using all of these different things, but they can never take away our spirit. So I love the power of the spirit of a man that will not only survive but thrive and break through in spite of whatever the rest of this looks like. And so I hope you enjoy this piece. I hope it makes you think, because I always say like I love to make art that inspires the human heart to seek, and this is definitely one of those. I'd love to hear your comments and your conversation around these topics. Very open-ended because there's just so much to be said about this, right? So drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to see a conversation between artists and creatives about stuff like this. So thanks for watching.